The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds.
Oh, this is going through my choices and the consequences.
Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwin would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Ooh, view credits to see the game ending? What? Alright. Well, we do that anyway. I was just having a quick thought. Like, the major choices from The Witcher 1, I was just trying to think about how they impacted this game, because I've kind of, because especially with the work I had to do, kind of getting this back due to the virus that took a lot of my files. I think all my files had to completely reset my computer. Was it worth all that hassle? And it's like, okay, so I didn't get the right items because I didn't have the right items. I got the right armor. I romanced Triss, but I don't think that I don't think that would have. I think that might have happened anyway, just because of the way it would have set up. I don't think it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked if you'd romanced Shani from the beginning of this game. So I'm not sure that had an impact. We met someone from Tala. I don't know, maybe that was part of it. Siegfried. We met him, so there was that choice. Was there a comment about Yavin and the fact I started against the Squire Talmud from Yorveth? That might have been the case. I can't remember. So, but I can't really think of many other kind of decisions or quest lines, so I'm not sure about that. Hopefully more connection between this game and The Witcher 3. We'll find out when we play it. I think I preferred the way this game did combat with the light and heavy attacks in contrast to the styles from the previous game. I think I mentioned it a few times, but the signs were also seem to be differently balanced. Like in the last game, I used Igni in pretty much every fight, whereas in this one, I can't remember the last time I deliberately used it. in combat. I know I used it in the Vergen level because I thought I needed to use it to get through some thorns, some brambles, but that didn't do anything. But I used Quen and Ard a lot. Quen and Akshi a lot, which I didn't use that much in the first game. I think I used Akshi every so often, but I didn't really use Quen. And I don't think I used Irdan either. But so shall we say? Oh, and frame rate issues. Frame rate issues every so often, just dropping down to 11 or 12 frames a second. And then you have to go to a menu just to reset it, and then you go back. Just frustration. Story-wise, I think I quite liked it. In many, I did enjoy it. I complained about it. I complained about it when we were talking with Vernon Roach. When we went to the Nilfgaard, when we went to the Kedwenny camp, which was, I sided with Yorveth because I don't like you, or because I don't owe you anything, and I sided with him because I like the elves. It's like, no, I didn't do that at all. It's similar to The Witcher 1. Oh, I sided with the Order because humans are superior. It's like, no, I sided with the Order because the other option was siding with someone who was breaking the law, and then the only way I could stop the massacre at Murky Waters was to get involved on one side or the other, and the game wouldn't let me side with the Scoia'tael at that point. I probably would have sided with Teruviel in that situation if I was given the choice. And in this situation, you had the same thing. You picked the Scoia'tael because you prefer elves. No, I picked the Scoia'tael because Yorveth was going straight away, and Vernon was going to stay for a bit to deal with Laredo. Admittedly, having just watched the little epilogue, maybe it would have been better if I'd stayed and dealt with him. But then again, I wonder what would have happened if I'd done the Vernon thing, because obviously you're not going to have the same things happening with Vergen, so that would change. I'm guessing in that kind of with that. I mean, I could replay it. I think Variax did both. I think I'd rather have kind of one canon playthrough, which will be this one, and then go into The Witcher 3 at some point from this save. I think. So right, plot. Again, we kind of had like 3 plots similar to Dragon Age 2. You almost have like 3 different plots that just like kind of a slight thread connecting them, but it's there. So in that case, there were that one not so well. There's several in Dragon Age 2. There are several threads going through the story, and in each chapter, a different thread is more prominent, but it's always relevant. In this one, there was the singular thread of the Kingslayer. So you've got the introduction, which prologue. There we go. Thank you, Brain. You've got the prologue, which is setting up to the Foltest being killed, and then you leaving to Flotsam. Then you've got chapter 1, where you know he's around somewhere, but you've got to do a few other things, and then you meet Yorveth, who is around, who's kind of connected, kind of, to Letho. Is he? How is he connected? What's going on? Oh, the two of you aren't. It's like, oh, the two of you aren't kind of great because he's going to betray you, but you don't know that. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. Then chapter 2 You follow him. We think he's gone to Vergen, so we've got to go there, and you make the choice there. I assume that the second chapter is completely different. Well, pretty much. You're going to the same place, but it's pretty much completely different. Well, you're gonna have to end the curse, aren't you? But then the third chapter, I assume, is more similar, but still with differences. So the second chapter, you turn up because you're following, and I liked that. I think it explained, well, it kind of explained why you didn't go straight after him. Because you can't. He's on the other side of this deadly cursed mist. Whereas I'm not sure how it would work going with Vernon, unless they just reverse everything, and they've come up with a completely different set of quests. Like, how would you find? Well, I don't know what the full map would be like, but you're gonna have a completely. Is Triss there, or maybe you've got to find Letho and then you come across and you find Triss in Vergen? I don't know. And then in chapter 3, you're in this area of the summit. I think I would have liked a bit more of the political goings on, kind of maybe having a hand in that. But I think that's something that's happened in Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and it is something I like, is kind of messing with the politics and seeing that go on. I find that quite interesting. Whereas in this game, it's just you are at this place where the political things are going on, but it's all about the action side of it. I think I would have liked some more of that. I'm trying to think of anything that really stood out as like a really cool kind of boss fight or a really interesting quest line. That stood out in and of itself, beyond the storyline. And I think, yeah, there isn't really anything that really kind of sticks out in and of itself. Like, I think they went into the mines, and that was the mines of Moria. There's quite a few references in that. There was the kind of getting the artifact for Cynthia, just because a few more puzzles going on in there, and the thought behind those kind of bits and bobs. But I'm trying to think of like moments that really kind of stood out to me as, oh, that's quite interesting, as a whole quest line or as a boss fight. I mean, there weren't that many, were there? I mean, you had Letho in chapter 1. You had the Arrakis in chapter 1. In chapter 2, you had the curse dealing with it, or the Draugr, that was Vandergrift. You kind of had the assault, ish. But I mean, just trying to think of like the things that really kind of stood up to me is, oh, that was really quite interesting, is maybe the fight with Saskia. That was quite, I don't know. And I think that's kind of a frustration, is actually I've quite enjoyed this game, but there's no moments that make me go, this was a great moment in it. I mean, that's what I'm trying to think about now, is things that really stuck out to me. And I'm kind of struggling to kind of really focus on, oh, I remember this being really good. Which I think is, I think kind of feels like a little frustrating to me. I'm looking forward to The Witcher 3, I am indeed. I think I preferred, I don't know, I think I prefer The Witcher 1 to The Witcher 2. But, I don't know how many videos I've got in this session and how many videos there's going to be. So this may come out after the top 10 I do at the end of the year, my top 10 favourite games. It'll be interesting to see if either of those make it and what the order will be. But I suppose we'll see what that says. Yeah, so Geralt still doesn't have his memory back completely. I mean, I'm just trying to think about like the key things they've set up. It's like the Emperor of Nilfgaard is attacking, so I assume that's gonna come in. But then we've got the Wild Hunt. I think it's actually titled. Hang on. Yeah, so it's entitled The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and we've found out a bit more about them in this one. And we met him, I think, several times in The Witcher 1. I think in chapter 1 and in the epilogue, at the kind of leader of the hunt. And we also fought the Wraiths as well. So I guess they're going to come in, I would suspect. So we've got the Wild Hunt, the Emperor, this Witch Hunt that we've started. Maybe something to do with Vergen will show up, and the fact that we've kind of done that. I mean, and we've saved Saskia, so hopefully she shows up. It'll be interesting if Yorveth and Vernon show up and how their relationship might be impacted by what we've just had. So, for example, no, come on, brain. So we've had, so for example, Yorveth, I would suspect, would be quite friendly to us in The Witcher 3, because we've come on, brain. Because we sided with him, we went with him to Vergen, we saved Saskia, we pretty much did what he asked us, while doing what we needed to. And Vernon will probably be a little not standoffish. I think he'll be a bit kind of, but because he wasn't. Are we going through every language? Probably. But I'm gonna run out of things to say. He still seemed kind of friendly, or supportive is probably a better way of saying it. Maybe he would have been more friendly if we'd gone with him. I don't know. Yes. Interesting. I've run out of things to say. And what are the major choices we made? Let's think about that. The major ones. We've at the end bit of this, we've let Letho live. We went with Yorveth. Maybe we'll get some of our items coming with us. I think because you import some items from The Witcher 1 to The Witcher 2, so maybe we'll get keep some of our items. trying to think of other choices we actually made. Maybe some of the quests, maybe doing some quests trigger things, and not doing quests doesn't trigger them, or triggers a different one. And maybe some things will be referenced in The Witcher 3. That'd be interesting to see if that happens. I mean, admittedly, I did kind of go through it before and kind of went, well, we didn't kind of get that many... There weren't that many choices from The Witcher 1 that seemed to be carried over. Then again, I did prove a moment ago that actually I can't remember that much of this game. There's nothing that much that's kind of stood out. I'm trying to think about this. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to think of things to say. I'm running out of things to say. That's annoying. I mean, it was kind of cool to kind of spend more time with Dandelion and Zoltan. I think I would have liked them to have a bit more things to say. Like, you could have like a new bit of dialogue after every kind of main quest thing. But then again, I think some of the main quests, they kind of changed a little bit, but they, like, I think, was it like Where's Triss Merigold was in 2 and 3, was in chapter 2 and chapter 3. Kingslayers, or Assassins of Kings, that was from the prologue. There were loads of quests that seemed to kind of hang on in every single one, and I think if you wanted to do that, you shouldn't have had the chapters. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think they did that in The Witcher 1 though as well, didn't they? So I probably shouldn't be complaining. Yeah, I've run out of things to say. Still not entirely sure how some of the processes work. There were some things I was kind of confused about, and like, I don't know how this works. And I'm sure that it's still the case. Oh well. I assume they'll completely change combat again for The Witcher 3, and then I will be back to square one for that. No. Nothing else to say. I've run out of things to say. More Geralt, I suppose. Well, that's another kind of thing that needs to be kind of resolved in The Witcher 3, is his memory. So not just we've got this invasion, we've got the Wild Hunt, we've got the memory, and the search for Yennefer. That could be awkward with Triss. I wonder if you choose between them, like kind of a romance and a Mass Effect Dragon Age kind of game. You choose which you're choosing your romance options. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I have heard that some people say that Witcher 3's got great side quests. There's a section for Russian propaganda. I will... Not commenting. I assume it's PR. But... yeah, but I mean, like, most of the side quests in this game, kind of thinking back to it, have kind of been the parts of the main quest. So, for example, oh my goodness, more localization. So So like side quests, most of them led into a main quest. So for example, one admittedly, kind of thinking of it, I did quite like was the investigation into the people who poisoned Saskia, and so you're kind of thinking through things. I like games like that. I do like those kind of puzzly aspects, and the kind of trying to make those kind of deductions and looking at the evidence and working through those things. But I think in general, most side quests led to the main quest, or linked into the main quest, or they would just random kill this many of this kind of enemy, essentially. So, I mean, you think of whatever that quest was, and all the kind of little tiny quests that kind of linked to it. So Baltimore's Nightmare was linked to it. The one with the priest was connected to it, and as you're kind of finding all this information out, and then you deal with it. Apologies. It's getting kind of late-ish. It's kind of where I want this to kind of get through. But they are linked to the Royal Blood quest line to get the Royal Blood to save Saskia, which is the main quest. The other options were things like the weird guy who lived in the quarry quest. Whatever his name is, whatever the name of the quest was, like Bag of Fluff or something. You had to get so many feathers, which was just you need to kill so many harpies. And those were the two kinds of quests, if I remember correctly. Here's a side quest spinning off from a main quest, or feeding into a main quest. And here is... oh yeah, because Baltimore's Nightmare, that came out of dealing with the Harpy Queen, which... was that a main quest? But you needed to find an item of great power, which happened to be the Dragon Stream, which kind of then gave you hints as to what was going on for later. So the two kind of side quests weren't really... Oh, no, I tell a lie. There was one that didn't have anything that I can think of off the top of my head. Well, at this point, off the top of my head. That came out of... that didn't have anything to do with the main quest, didn't come out of one, didn't feed into one, which was the one with the succubus. Whatever the name of it was. I've just realised that some of these credits are still in code, aren't they? Because I'm guessing that Korean localization is meant to be the list for the Korean localization credits. And I'm guessing that in some of these places, the kind of speech marks are not meant to be there. I guess I might be wrong, but it doesn't look right. It looks off in comparison to kind of the other style that we've currently got on the screen. So yeah, but I've heard that The Witcher 3 has some really good side quests. So hopefully that'll be enjoyable. Although I might have to be told off from doing side quests, as has happened in Inquisition. Essentially, depends how many there are and how they feed into the main line. I'm not sure if I'll go straight into The Witcher 3. And the reason for that is Dragon Age Inquisition is a big open world type RPG, and as far as I from what I think people have said, is that's what The Witcher 3 is. It's a big open world type RPG. So do I really want to have two things that are so similar? I don't know. I may still pick it. It's also, the issue is that's going to be another long Let's Play, and with my course at the moment, I may at the time of recording, I've been summoned to meet my university tutor in a couple of days, so we'll see what she says. I don't know what's happening, but I probably don't want to go into a big long one because I may have to take another break similar to what I had to do in November. I may just not replace this and just kind of ease up on the number of Let's Plays I'm doing, just so I can I don't have to worry so much about the time that I've got. I mean, in theory I could do that. I probably won't because I enjoy this too much when I can do it. I like having loads of different ones on, and I don't want to just rush ahead with like 2 and be kind of months ahead. Admittedly, he says that, kind of pushing this to a month ahead, but I don't want to add another one in case I get a load of work again and end up being completely deluged. Although part of me wouldn't mind kind of not being on the course and being able to do more videos. Well. Yeah, the credits are over. Are the credits over? Apparently we're getting the ending now. The world as we know it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. Well, with that ending, I'm assuming that the invasion, the Nilfgaardian invasion of the North, is going to be a major part of The Witcher 3. With that kind of ending, it better be. So, we'll get to it when we get to it, which, knowing me, even though I've said I may not go to it straight away, it could well be next, although I may want to take a little bit of a break. Just do some of the lighter things. I don't know. We'll see. But if you've enjoyed this The Witcher 2, then well, thank you for watching. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.